Welcome and welcome back to my channel, Boomzibe Beauty. If you are new here, my name is Juliana, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. Today's video, as titled, is going to be a swatch party, and it's a swatch party of all my new Odens palette. I already have 3 of their palettes, Annette's, Judy, and Tina's palettes. That was the first time I tried the brand out when they came out with the 3 influencers, and I had a nice experience of those palettes. I already have a swatch party on my channel, as well as 4 eye looks across the 3 palettes. So today's video is going to be all about the new ones I got during Black Friday sales. Along with the palette, I also got some lipsticks and a highlighter, which I've swatched during the Black Friday haul video. I will link it to this video, but I'm going to be swatching the new palettes. As of today that I'm filming, they still haven't revealed who the influencer is, but I did promise during Black Friday I was going to do a separate video about all this palette, which is why I'm doing this video. So for everybody that is new to Oden's Eye, just so you can get a feel of the brand and what the eyeshadow feels like. In terms of performance, then please refer to the 4 looks I did with the previous 3 palettes they came out with the influencers. But for the purpose of today's video, it's going to be a swatch party. So we're going to see what the mattes are like, we're going to see what the shimmers are like, we're going to see whether it's comparable to the 3 palettes they came out with the influencers. Alright, I got 3 of their, I want to call it rectangular palette. So is Alva 1 and 2, as well as the Norns Palette. And then for the, I want to say book-like shaped one, then I got 3. Actually I would call it 4, because one of them is like a 2-in-1, which you will see when I'm swatching it. So I more or less call this 4 palettes. And then lastly I got 2 of the slim-like ones, the one that has like a multiple kind of pan in the middle, which you will see when I swatch it. But I'm going to start with the eyeshadow palette that is on my eyes. Okay, starting with Saga of Freja. So it's F-R-E-J-A, but I'm sure it's called Freja as in like a Y. They don't call it Freja, they call it Freja, as far as I know. But this is the palette I have on my eyes today, at least one side of it anyway. So the palette is a 2-side palette. This is the side, as you can see, that I used today. That shade is so pigmented. And then this is the second side. Alright, so I'm going to be swatching, well, as far as my fingers can take, from the top row, middle row, then bottom row. Alright, these are the 4 shades in the Saga of Freja palette. That's the first shade. So I'm just swatching them accordingly as they are in the pan. So these are the first 4 shades. I'm going to intensify that. So that brown is very close to my skin tone. This shade is what I have all over my eye, and I did dip in it with a dark brown, but it's what I have on my main lid. So those are the first 4 shades. Okay, these are the last 5 shades in the palette. Alright, this shimmer is all over my lid as well. Oh my days, that shimmer is beautiful. Look at that. I can't say it's specifically pink. It's like a burgundy pink. And then the next shade, that gorgeous peach. That's somewhere on my eyelid as well. And this is what I have in my inner corner. And then lastly, this brown, that's what I darkened my eye look with. And lastly, this silver on my thumb, which I will swatch upside down. So these are the 9 shades on one side of the Saga of Freja palette. So this is the palette, and these are the swatches. They are gorgeous. The thing about their palette is their shimmers are mixed. Some shades are topper shades, some shades are like crystal shades, and some are just metallic. I'll show you with this one. This silver and this pink, they are quite metallic. So these 2 are metallic. This light pink is like a crystal shade, which is why I put it in my inner corner and I pulled it across my crease. This one is like an in-between crystal and glittery shade. They're just beautiful. I mean, look at this. And the mattes are so pigmented. They might swatch light, but they are so pigmented. I was really surprised and shocked, you know, with this matte here. It was really pigmented. And even this, you would think that this is light, but this is what I darkened my outer edge with. It is such a dark brown when you apply it on the eyes. Honestly, they were beautiful. So that's the first side of the Saga of Freja palette. Alright, moving on to the second side. I cannot wait to dig into this. Look at that orange in the middle, yummy. And that green, I can't wait to use this one. And the first 4 shades, I think this one is a duochrome, so I'm quite excited to see what that will swatch like. Because oh my days, that is beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh, look at that green. And now the one I think, oh my days, can you see that? Oh wow, I'm gonna build these shades up just so we can see the full potential. Just looking at that shade, that is the duochrome. Can you see it's pink in the pan, but it's green when swatched? I mean, on my finger you can see both the pink and the green, but on my arm it's literally green. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that. It's literally green, but it's pink in the pan. That is beautiful. And these are the last 5 shades in the palette. So the orange one first. Oh, that is yummy. Oh wow, look at that. So that is definitely a true metallic shade. Oh, gorgeous. And I think that's another duochrome. And lastly, the one on my tongue, which I will swatch upside down. So these are the shades of the other side of the Saga of Freja palette. This is beautiful. So I did intensify the orange a little bit more, as well as that brown, but they are beautiful. Alright, moving on to the next palette. This is Saga of Freja, but it's called Chapter 1, Tears of Freja. And these are the shades in the palette. So I did use this pink for my crease and my inner corner, if you can see. So that's what I have in my innermost the corner of my eye. But this is the palette, and that's the only shade I've used so far in this palette. So this is Tears of Freja, Chapter 1. So these are the swatches on my fingers. The first 4 shades. That's a pink, a light pink shade. That is absolutely unbelievable. Oh my word, look at that. Look how nice that swatched. Okay, moving on to the next shade. I'm just speechless. I mean, I'm not surprised with the 3 palettes that I tried from them, from the influencers. They were breathtaking, honestly, and I'm really not surprised. So these are the first 4 shades, right? The last 5 shades. So this orange one, I'm sure it's going to be very pigmented, because in the pan it did pick up a lot. Look at that. That is beautiful, and it feels so buttery on my hands as well. This I think is a topper shade, but it's a duochrome, so I'm curious to see what that will swatch like. This feels like the special shade in the influencers palette, and I'm just going to build that up. Yeah, it does feels like the duochrome, or is it multichrome, in all of Tina's, Annette's and Judy's palette. That is beautiful. And then the next shade is a matte. I'm gonna build that up. All right, that's swatched, and this gorgeous metallic gold. Oh my days! And it's gonna, oh my, look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. It's like a burnt gold shade. So it's not like yellow or typical gold. It's got like a little bit of green in it, at least from what I can see in the pan. And then the last shade, I'm gonna swatch that again upside down. Let me build that up as well. And that's all the shades in the Tears of Freja palette, Chapter 1. And these are what they look like in the pan as well. Oh, they are gorgeous. Don't underestimate these mattes. They are buildable, they are blendable, and they are so pigmented. And if you're not careful, they do stain. I mean, look at the palette from swatching them. But they are gorgeous. Okay, the next palette we are swatching is the Saga of Freja Chapter 2, Cat with Golden Carriage. So that's the palette with the beautiful picture with the cat there. Tell you, this name sounds like fairy tales kind of names, but this is the inside of the Chapter 2 palette. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and they so well complement some of the other palettes. I think my next palette mashup is going to be on this Oden's palettes. I really want to do a mashup on those. Those are beautiful, and oh, they're just so gorgeous. I'm just going to bring this palette close to the camera, just because of my swatches on my finger. Look at that mint green, and just look at how light it is in the pan, and the impact on my finger is just amazing. that is a pastel shade. That is a pastel shade. That is beautiful. And oh, just wait till see the next. Look at that. Oh my days, I just can't wait to use this palette. Absolutely gorgeous that green shade is. And then the next one is a matte, and then we have another shimmer. Oh, that is gorgeous. And the last 5 shades. So starting with this orange, which looks really pigmented as well. Oh. And then the next one, which is a beautiful topper like shimmer. It's gorgeous. And this green, look at how pigmented that green is. That is absolutely beautiful. And then lastly, this one, which is on my tongue. I'm going to build that up as well because it's very close to my skin tone. So those are all the shades from the chapter 2 palette. Putting the palette next to my swatches. They are gorgeous. This is like a mainly green themed palette. Even the shimmers that have got different colors, they've still got like a hint of green in them. So it's like a mint green mainly themed palette, but it's gorgeous. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Alright, moving on to the rectangular palette. I'm going to start with Alva 1. So there is Alva 1 and there is Alva 2. But this is what the inside of Alva 1 looks like. So it's mostly a neutral tone palette with hints of purple, pink, lilac, and this yellow here. But it's really neutral tones, really. I mean, I haven't swatched it. The pink to me feels tame, but again, these palettes are very surprising, so I won't be surprised when they are pigmented. They appear darker as I swatch them. So first 4 shades. I'm gonna swatch that third one again. Yeah, that's quite close to my skin tone again, but when I bring it closer to the camera, then you can really see it. So these are the first 4 shades. Okay, the next 4 shades, this one feels like a duochrome to me. Just to find out when swatched. So, number 5, the 6th shade, and this is the one I think is a duochrome. That is beautiful. Yeah, it definitely looks like a duochrome. I'm just gonna kind of pull that across. Yeah. But these are the first 8 shades from the Alva palette. The next 4 shades. So this is a shimmer, another matte, a shimmer, and another shimmer. It's beautiful. So they are swatching slightly more pigmented than they look in the pan, which I'm not surprised about at all. But yeah, these are the first 12 shades. Okay, the last 4 shades. Now this is a topper and it really felt light to me, and this felt dry, you know, when trying to pick it up from the pan. So I'm curious to see what they will swatch like. I'm just gonna swatch them here. So that's the first matte. Oh wow, and that looks very light in the pan, so I'm quite surprised about that. That's coming out brighter and more pigmented than I thought it was gonna be. And then this is the topper. So it does pop, but it's definitely a topper. Yeah, it's quite light. And then the next matte, and finally the one that I thought swatched felt dry in the pan. I think to me it feels a bit like some of the shimmers in Annette and Judy's palettes. Yeah, they felt dry to me, but they are nonetheless beautiful. And they are still beautiful. It's just for me, my preference, I prefer my shimmers to be soft and, you know, easy glide on the skin kind of. I don't mind if they're light or they're toppers, but I just want them to be soft. I don't like them scratchy. Yeah, so this felt slightly scratchy to me, but it is still beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the Alva 1 palette. Yeah, so those are my swatches next to the palette. So yeah, it's neutral tones with pops of colors, but they are still beautiful. So if you love neutral shades and neutral tones, then you are definitely gonna love this palette. It is beautiful, hint of mauviness, pink in it. Oh, it's just surprising. It's not like a very common color story. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's not a common color story. I mean, look at that mixture of yellow with moss, with pinks and lilac, and your bronze. It's just beautiful and unique. So that's the Alva 1 palette. Alright, before I rub this swatch off, I just wanted to show you the Alva II palette. So this is the Alva II palette, and this is the inside of Alva II palette. So definitely total opposite of each other. So Alva 1 definitely neutral. This Alva 2 very colorful. Okay, moving on to Alva II palette. I'm just going to swatch the same way, so row by row. There are quite a few different texture in this palette. Just to show you from the get-go, this blue feels like a satin to me, which is this one. That one feels like a satin to me. I mean, I haven't swatched on my hand, so we'll soon find out. Then these two shades feels like glitter to me in the pan. I mean, I could be wrong when swatched, but looking at them, they just feel like they're different textures to what we've seen in the palettes that I've swatched so far. So I've not encountered any glitter shade so far, but we'll soon see what they swatch like. Alright, so the first shade. Next one is a shimmer, so that's quite shimmery, so it's not too light, but look at this, another pastel shade, absolutely gorgeous. And this is the one I think, oh okay, it looks like satin, but it looks very pigmented as well when swatched. It does feel like satin. I mean, even though there's a little bit of metallic to it, it still got some element of satin in it. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful color, very unique. Okay, moving on to the next 4 shades, and I am right, that shade is glitter. So I'm gonna try and swatch it. I don't know if it will show up. Yeah, that's definitely glitter. So if you don't like pressed glitter in your palette, then maybe stay away from this palette, but I'm not bothered. I just will ignore the shade. Sometimes I do use glitter, but it's not my go-to. Look at that, another pastel shade that is gorgeous. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Okay, the next 4 shades. That's a nice beautiful peach color, and the second glitter. Yeah, that's another glitter, but these glitters are not dry. They've got like a putty substance in them, so I think you can use them possibly without any glitter glue. Well, if you don't have oily lids like me, you can possibly get away with it without using a glitter glue. So that's another, well, I want to say another pastel like shade. So beautiful. That is gorgeous. So that's 12 shades so far. And then the final 4 shade. Oh, how beautiful are these shades. These ones, oh, I've been waiting to swatch them, especially these last 2 shades here, the light blue and the dark blue. So this is like a burgundy brown, I want to say. And then you have possibly its equivalent in shimmer. Look how buttery that shimmer is. That is absolutely gorgeous. And look, it's still going. Oh wow, that is beautiful. And then the turquoise blue shade. This is not common in palettes at all, so for me it was definitely a pull. It's beautiful. And the dark blue, the jewel toned blue. Look at that. That last row is enough to sell this palette for me. It's beautiful. I mean, look at that. Look at that last row. It's absolutely beautiful. And it beside the palette. Oh, gorgeous palette. This is definitely another favorite for me as well. Oh, beautiful. Can't wait to use this palette. But that's Alva II. Alright, again, before cleaning this off, I just want to show you the comparison. So this is the Norns palette, and this was the Alva II I just swatched right now. So they, again, some shades look similar. To me, it looks like they complement each other and you can really enjoy using them together. Looking at it, it's easy to think that the palette has been duplicated, but it's not. Similar tones, but not quite the same. They're quite uniquely different. I mean, that blue jewel tone is not in this one, but you've got like different variation of blue. So if I put the Neon palette to my Alva II swatches, you can see that they are definitely different. Yeah, so they might look the same when you kind of look at it abstractly, but they are definitely different. Alright, the Neon palette doesn't look like it's got any glitter in it, but we'll soon find out. Okay, the first 4 shades, this is a pastel like shade, and I know it's going to swatch beautifully. I don't know how they do it. These are pastel shades, and yet they are so pigmented. This is a dual chrome, so this is like pure whitish green in the pan, but when swatched it is got an element of green, red, pink in it. Right, third shade, this yummy brown shimmer. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And another shimmer. So this is one of the slightly dry version of the shimmers. I mean, nevertheless it's beautiful, but it felt a little bit dry when I picked it up in the pan. Okay, next 4 shades. Again, this is pastel likeish, and this is, I think, another duochrome. I just don't know how they do these palettes, honestly. I'm gonna try and swatch that again. That's quite close to my skin tone, so it's like a dark lilac. As you can see, it's quite dark, so it doesn't pop out as much. But this is the one that I think is a duochrome. Yeah, light, but definitely duochrome. And then this yummy wineish red, building that up. So the formula is very sleek. It's not metallic, it's like an in-betweener between metallic and a topper shade, so it's really sleek. And then this gorgeous green. Oh, this is yummy. It's beautiful tone of green. Next 4 shades. These ones are yummy. They really are yummy, dark and beautiful. It's beautiful. And this last one, oh my days, that shade is definitely not common. Sorry, I think I swatched it a bit on the other green. So I did those swatches again, and so those are the first 12 shades. Only 4 more shades in this palette, but those are the first 12. Okay, the last 4 shades, and this one was very crumbly in the pan, but these are the last 4 shades. Now I don't know where I'm going to swatch that. Okay, I'm gonna try on this side. So wow, look at that. And then the next one I think is definitely a duochrome, so I can see purple and blue with specks of I want to say whitish specks and silver. And then the orange shimmer. Oh, that is gorgeous. And finally the crumbly one. Oh my word, what color is that? It's like a purple blue. Oh, that is beautiful. And this one, oh my word, these are beautiful shades. So that is the neon palette. This is actually the palette that kind of brought them to my radar. This is the palette where I first noticed them as a brand. When they released this palette and I saw the shade inside, oh, I was really curious. But because I didn't know much about them, I didn't make any purchase until they released the palettes with the influencers. But oh my word, look at that. That is gorgeous. It's really, really a beautiful palette. I just can't wait. I'm gonna have a problem picking which palette I'm going to use in the mashup, honestly. These are really, really beautiful. That's a really beautiful palette. I think with all this palette, there is one for everybody. So whether you are into colors, you are into pigmented shimmers, you're into luxurious shimmer, whatever you are into, you would always find a palette for you. It's just a case of picking one. Alright, we're down to the last 2 palettes. I'm going to start with Alva II Mini. I think it says Ocean Palette. If it says otherwise, I'll put it on the screen. I can't read it. It's really tiny. But this is what the Alva II Mini palette looks like. This is absolutely gorgeous as well. Oh, so beautiful. And I'm going to swatch the 4 shades that are not like double pans yet. To me, it looks like they took some of the shades from the Alva palette, the big ones, and they put them in this, which will compare once I finish these swatches. But for now, let me just swatch the palette. So these are the first 4 shades that are not in the big pan, so these little ones. Again, another blue pastel. That's beautiful. And that blue, absolutely yummy. And then lastly, a brown shimmer. And then finally the split pan. I had to be careful not to contaminate the swatch, but that's one side and that's the second side. So I had to be very careful. I could have built this more. Let me see if I can even build on it more. or I build them up as much as I can. So they are topper shades anyway, so they are meant to be like put on lightly on a mat or over another shimmer, or lay them down first and put another shimmer on top. But they are light shades that are meant to be so pigmented. But this is the mini Alva II palette, and we're just going to look at the big Alva palette and see if they are taken from that palette. Alright, looking at the two palettes, it looks like they are very similar shade. The only shade I think is quite similar is this light blue one. Yeah, that almost looks like the exact same light blue one in this palette, but the others are just kind of like close to it, but not exact colors, but they just, it looks like this basically took inspiration from this palette. So if you feel like this is too big and the shades you love here are in this, then maybe stick to buying this one. But yeah, they just complement each other. They don't exactly look like duplicates. So that is the mini Alva II palette swatched, and that's the palette beside it. So it's absolutely yummy. It's little, but it packs a punch. Alright, finally, this is the Herd, I want to say Herd, well, URD mini eyeshadow palette. So it's got like the high. This is always kind of like creeped me out, but I sort of love the color story of the palette. So this is the inside of the Herd palette. It's absolutely beautiful. The green tones in this palette and that shade, it just so complements the greens in this palette. Absolutely beautiful. And look how gorgeous the swatches are. Absolutely yummy. Let's just see what the swatches look like. Ugh. Another beautifully pigmented pastel shade. Ugh, absolutely yummy. And this next one, oh my days, is so dark and yummy. It's like brown burgundy. Ugh, it's beautiful. And that, look at that shimmer. Look at that shimmer. That is so beautiful. Looks like a forest green. Oh, that is beautiful. Not very common a shade. That is really beautiful, and it complements the palette. Even these 4 shades alone as a palette is beautiful. Before the topper shades, absolutely beautiful. Now let's watch the split pans. And these are the 2 shades in the split pan. So they look quite similar, but yet different. So one is like a silverish shade and one is like a whitish green topper. So they are both topper shades, but they are beautiful. So I just built that silver shade up a little bit more, but this color story, it's really yummy. Alright, that was all of the palette I got from Oden's Eye Cosmetics during the Black Friday sale. I had to keep my promise of swatching all of this palette, and I know because they are about to release a new palette as well, people will get curious about them, you know, to see what the brand is like. So I thought I would swatch this palette just in case anybody's interested in picking up another palette alongside the new one they're about to release. So those are all my swatches. I love the brand, I love the palettes. I mean, even from the first experience of using the palettes with the influencers, I loved all of the palettes, all of the 3. They're 3 different color stories, but they are equally beautiful and unique. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me and you've enjoyed my swatches. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.